friends, it's Sheryl from Tutoring with Sheryl and the tech coach for tutors. And I recently had a question from Natalie Michelle from, and it might be Michael. I can't remember Natalie, but you're from 605 Tutors. And she is a former member of the Tech Hub for Tutors and was with us for a whole year and got a lot of value out of it. And she remembered that I had a video out there that was explaining marketing to the masses and attending events with a booth. And I think this is great information for everybody. So I'm re-recording this information. It will be found inside of the Tech Cover Tutors, but it will also be found on YouTube because I think people want this information. Now, if you are trying to do some grassroots marketing in your area, there's lots of things that you can do. And one of the things that you can do is you can set up a booth at a local event and hand some things out. And I'm going to go back to her question and tell you how I initially answered it. And then I did a little bit more digging into my files and piles of things. And I was like, ooh, this is just so full of information. I have to share it with not just the Tech Hub for Tutors, but I need to share it with everybody because I think it's a question that people want to know. So her question was stating first, I am doing an event soon, and I just found out that there will be a lot more people than I anticipated. And I'm trying to think of some things to have at my booth to create interest and engagement. And I remember you did a few booths and have some things you thought were successful. I have done booths, but I've never had such a big crowd. So I have all my signage and stuff. I'm just thinking of offering more than I usually do in the way of things customers can interact with. Now, here's the thing. I think if you can pull the kids in first, say, hey, do you have any kids? Do you have any grandkids, nieces or nephews, if there aren't any kids in the crowd? Or if there are kids there, you start with, would you like a free bookmark? Or would you like a coloring page? Or would you like a maze or something? So my response to Natalie was, oh, this is exciting. When is it? Tell me more. I'm so excited for you. And then I started my conversation this way. And then I ended it with, oh, I'll make a video and share it with you. So here's how I started my conversation. I've done so many things. Some things to capture the kids' attention, and then their parents would be have a coloring page, a maze, an activity, a puzzle to complete, a word search. They can either do it right there. You can have pen and paper, crayons, whatever, a clipboard with those things on. If it's an outdoor event, I highly recommend clipboards so stuff doesn't fly all over, putting it in a folder or something. But make sure that you put your logo on it, and you can do that in Canva, and we'll dive into that here in just a minute. You can have a free bookmark, but include your contact information. You can provide a game that is in something that you tutor with. Now, you can either hand them the game and say, I have a great game for your family to play. It's called this. All you need is a deck of cards. Here's the instructions. If you guys ever have a need for a tutor, make sure that you look me up. Boom, conversation's done. You've been friendly. You offered something fun for the activity for the whole family to do. And they're going to remember you because guess what? You're going to have your logo and your contact information on there. Okay, make that logo. You can do that in Canva. If nothing else, put your QR code on there. I do it all the time. My QR code's on everything. Okay, and then if you have a freebie that you have created, you can literally just hand it out. I have even done where I've taken an old workbook that I had. I tore out the pages. I put my logo, my contact information on there. And when I handed it out, I said, this isn't something I made. It's from an old workbook that I am trying to share because I didn't want to throw it away. Would your kids be interested in an extra workbook page from this company that is no longer, producing these workbooks or whatever it happens to be? And I hand it out. And on the bottom, it says exactly where it came from. And I might say, that's really a great resource. I just didn't have all the pages. Maybe if that's something that you want to purchase for your child, you can find it on Amazon or whatever, because it's probably something that I bought for another student. And, there's my 6 pages left in it. I shouldn't throw those out. I'm recycling them by sharing them with somebody else and by telling them where it came from, what I'd used it for, and why I'm handing it to them, and then saying, I just shared my information on there in case you ever need to get in touch with me again. I've been very open about where that information came from. We have enough stuff in our landfills. Let's share it with other people. Okay, something that I'm really going to encourage you to do is go through Canva and get yourself some business cards. Okay, and I'm going to open up my business cards and pull one out. These are my updated business cards. I'm so much happier with them. I maybe could have done a little bit better job on the spacing. I do have a bit of a blur here, so hopefully you'll be able to see this, but this is my page, right? Or these are my cards right here. And so it just simply says, let's see if we can get that right up there for you guys to see, my business name, my contact information, and then on the back, it's got a picture of me poking through the clouds and my little saying, building readers and writers, one word at a time. And both sides have my tutoring with Sheryl.tutorbird.com. It says that I support K through 6 reading and writing on both sides and spelling. I've got my QR code. I've got my website. I say where I'm located, Oakland, Nebraska. Yeah, and so it's all on there. My little logo's in the corner too. These things are rock solid. I have them in my little wallet right here on my phone. And then if somebody asks me what I do, and I wish I would have had this with me today because I ran into a former schoolmate. He wasn't in my class, but he was a grade close to me in school at a friend's event. And he had just retired from teaching. And he's like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to tutor. And I'm like, oh, great. You're a chemistry and physics teacher? Super. I'll find somebody will ask me about that. And there, I just pulled that out of my wallet. And when I'm shopping and I know that there's a little message board, I'll go post it up on the board. People take them because they come back and they're gone. So either the manager's taking them down or somebody has picked them up. So have your business cards available. You don't have to have all of them. Take 10. If you pass out 10, that's great. Or if you're selling something, it's a booth where you're going to sell something instead. Then in every single purchase, you're passing out your business card. That is the best form. I know people are like, oh, that's so old fashioned. People aren't going to. I will disagree with you. I've gotten students from my business card. Oh yeah, I got your name from my sister-in-law. She had your business card. Really? That's wonderful. Yeah, I was handing them out one year in my mom's driveway. I was handing out old books from my classroom, and inside with a bookmark, I had my business card. And then I got a student off of that. That student's been with me for 3 years. People, this is big. Okay, have a bowl of Smarties or Dum Dums on your table. And say something about let's fuel your brain or something like that. Come to me to whatever. You can find something catchy. I can't come up with it right on the fly like that, but you can put something together with candy. Maybe you want to hand out kisses, or something like that. Not real ones, candy ones. Make sure that you have a page to sign up for a free demo lesson or a free assessment and gather their contact information. Now that might work in some places. I've tried it. Some places it works really well. Other places there's not a lot of interest. So you're going to have to decide if that's something that you want to do. And you can also have a drawing. And this is literally an old, I don't even know what brand this is. This is my like laundry detergent container. There's my business card in large. Woo, there we go. I have drawing for 3 free tutoring sessions, $170.50 value. I don't even know what my hourly rate on that one was. K through 6, and then again, just my information. And then on the back, they can pay me if they want through my Venmo. You guys can pay me through my Venmo. Send me some money. Uehling. You say, great job with your videos. I'm going to send you money. No, just joking. You don't have to do that. But if you do, that'd be fine too. I don't think you're supposed to, so don't do that. So anything that is going to start the conversation. Now, as soon as I hit send, I thought, I should have used Gemini to create that list. So let's go into my Gemini. And I'm going to share the screen. All right, where's my Mr. Gemini? There it is. Okay. There we go. And so I said, provide a list of things that a tutor should have on hand for a booth where they are networking and trying to promote their business. And I thought, well, gee whiz, I should have done this before. But I was like, this is great content for a video, so I got to share it. And let me see if I can make this larger here. All right, so we've got the business cards. Okay, that's good because I already said that. Flyers or brochures. As a matter of fact, I was just at the grocery store the other day and I stuck one on the wall. Yeah, so make sure that you have several of those. Make sure that you're focused on what are your tutoring specialties. They say your teaching philosophy. I don't think that goes on there. I think you can put that on your website or just when you talk to parents. That's where I tell them about my teaching philosophy and my practices. Pricing, you could say, or call to discuss. Any testimonials, I have that on my website, so I don't have that there. Make it visually appealing and concise. And we might be able to find mine in Canva here in just a minute. Then you might want to have a pricing menu if you're offering different packages. I do not, but I know a lot of tutors do. So you have to decide that in advance. Have your testimonial sheet. I don't have that on there since it's on my website, but maybe I should. I don't know. It says sample materials, and that's a great place to have that at a booth. And those were things that I was also passing out at former locations. Like I said, a sign-up sheet or a lead capture form. And you can even do a digital option where you've got that QR code, or you could just have like your tablet there and say, hey, if it's either Wi-Fi capable, you've got that, or it's got its own phone number. You could have a Google Doc or a Google Form, there, where they're just filling in their information. And as a matter of fact, in the month of June, I'm doing a whole training in the Tech Hub for Tutors about using Google Forms and getting information like that. So in your booth display, and we'll see a picture of mine here in just a minute, you want to have a tablecloth or a runner, branded or professional looking. You can make your booth or table appear as polished as you want. We want to have banners, signage. Maybe you have a question of the day or some sort of a joke, or you want to hand out something there. That interactive element, whether it is a quiz, a challenge, something. Maybe you want to have pictures. You say, would you like to see some pictures of some of the things I've done with students? Anything like that. And like I said, a small bowl of candy, or hey, how about apples? That might be a little bit too expensive right now, but that could be something. You could have branded materials. Like I said, bookmarks. Instead of bookmarks with pictures, bookmarks with study tips. But again, contact information. I like the stickers with logos. Little kids love stickers. Small notebooks to hand out, useful items that they might need for school. And then practical and logistical supplies for yourself. Pens, markers, notepad, clipboard, tape, scissors, basic toolkits, hand sanitizers, tissues, water bottles, snacks, portable chargers, and power banks. I took that to the one I'm going to share a picture. I was at an outside event all day long. I was so glad I had my power bank with me. I did not need an extension cord, but maybe you would need that. Definitely comfortable shoes, small first aid kit just in case you need it, professional attire for the event. So, whether it's a branded shirt or something else like that, and then go with a positive attitude and a smile on your face. Everybody loves a smile. Even if your teeth are crooked, they still love your smile. Digital tools, maybe you need your laptop or your tablet to showcase your website, your online scheduling system, your digital resources, a quick conduct a quick demonstration. Like I said, mobile hotspot, if the Wi-Fi is not available or unreliable. And then those QR codes, just like my Venmo code or on my QR code, have those available. I don't know why you'd be collecting money unless you're selling something, but maybe you have a policy where they have to give you money before they can work with you or something like that. That seems a little strange way to put it, but maybe you've got like a $25 holding fee or something like that, because maybe you're just that busy. You need to know that they're really serious. I don't know. Everybody's got different things in their life that are going to power their business practices. So no shame in any of that. Now, let me just quickly show you. I went to and this is actually a video where I talked about it, but I went to an outdoor live event at Windmill Blossoms Market, which is north, or maybe it's north of Pilger, Nebraska, northwest of Pilger, Nebraska. It was a very windy day. And oops, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing this page. I want to share it with you. So we'll stop share and come over here. Sorry about that. Talking about it, and you're like, what is she talking about? Let's see here. I got to find it. There we go. And my video must have been called Try Something New, because that's what this is called. But anyway, this live event, it was an outdoor market. It was very cool and windy the day that I showed up, but you're going to see a couple of things. You can't see my t-shirt. My t-shirt has Tutoring with Sheryl on it. Here was my booth before I got my professionally done display. This was a blue tarp, believe it or not, that I used clear packing tape with. You can see how windy it was. It was really windy. I had a chair. I never sat down, actually. And let's see if I can't zoom in on this. It's a video. I don't want it to start. Oh, here's my plus button. I don't think it's going to let me do that. Let me see if I can do it inside of Canva. Over here. There we go. And keeping it on the page. So you can see I have a little poster. This is before I had my stuff available. The order didn't come in on time. I did have one ordered, but it wasn't in. I got my QR code for my website, building readers and writers one word at a time, my signage there. And then I put everything in plastic bags because I knew it was going to be windy. And these things were all on clipboards because it was just a windy day. And then I had a few books to pass out. Somewhere in my bookmarks, these could be my bookmarks. No, those are pencils, but I had bookmarks tucked away. I might have stuck them in this container, but I had to park and then drag everything in. And I've done this a couple times. I finally have like a little container where my table, if you have to set up your own table, you might want to have a little cart on wheels to take, but it's highly effective. And then you just stand there and you just talk to people. Now, one thing I wish I would have had at this one was some candy. I didn't have candy there at that point, but I was able to get people to come in. And then this clipboard right here was where I said, if you'd like to sign up for a free lesson, I'll be in touch. I did contact everybody and I didn't get a lot of yeses on that, but that's okay. They were at least willing to share their information with me. And one thing that I kind of wish I would have done at the time, I threw everything away. I wish I would have kept the information as far as like their email and then put them on my email. But, live and learn. That's what happens. So this is kind of a page where I just have put some things together inside of Canva, but some things like, I think this was actually one of the things that I took with me. Let's pull this one up and see what it is. Free learning resources. Help yourself to 3 resources from Tutoring with Sheryl. Kindergarten with 6th grade. I've got my regular flow code, my QR code, and then my Facebook one so that they just wanted to take a picture telling them what I did. So that was available. And then that was what was in that bucket to keep it all from flying away. So that you understand what you were looking at. And then simple resources like this comes straight from Canva. I changed, I don't even know if I changed the sentences to be quite honest, but it says, I can read, my dog is big, I love my bike. Passing those things out. There's my QR code again. I must have put that on there for some strange reason. Who knows? It's probably for something else. Even something as simple as knowing your shapes. I'm working with elementary kids. So I had parents that were taking things like this. Anything that was free. I had a little, at the time when I went, it was a back to school moment. So I had this on there and I asked the kids if they wanted it. Most of the kids actually took one of those. And we had some handwriting, like, would you like an alphabet page to practice? And again, you're going to see that on each one of these things, I've got my website and I've got my QR code so that they can remember me. A lot of grandparents were taking things for their kids. At that time, I was running a promotional for 2nd and 3rd grade small group virtual reading class. That was my promotional, but I'm doing a different one for this summer and not using this. I could have used this. I don't know why I didn't. Sometimes I think I reinvent the wheel too many times. Here's an example of my child does not want to do their homework. Now what? 5 tips for success. And again, here's my information. You can contact me right there with my logo. So everything I'm putting on there is it's all available. And that's, I think, what I want you guys to understand is you don't want to take too much, but you don't want to take not enough. And you want to take something that is going to demonstrate your expertise. So like those books, those older books were for the older kids. I'm like, I don't really have anything for the older kids, but I do have some books. Would you like to take a free book? And I think I actually took about 30 books to that event. And again, my flow code my QR code was inside of every single one of those books, along with Tutoring with Sheryl. And I put my little logo inside of there and it's all there. So, if they pass that book off to somebody else and I'm still doing this business 5 years from now, as long as I don't change my information, somebody's going to find me. So I consider that a win. And so any way that you can share your message and then invite people in, something else that you could consider would be just to have like a little ring toss game in front of your table, or maybe you want to have a floor puzzle that the big pieces, and the kids can sit down to pull the little kids in, because it's usually the little kids and they might have an older child, and that's what kind of brings them in. So I wish you a lot of luck. If you are doing a live event, I think I've given you lots of ideas. This video is going to end up in the Tech Hub for Tutors, where I support tutors with not only their digital literacy, but also with their marketing. And I try to give them real sage advice on it, like the things that I am currently doing to get my business going. And I recently posted in the Tech Hub for Tutors a whole video about how I put together a radio advertisement. I only ran it for 10 days. And as a result of that radio ad, I now have 5 new students. And so that's the kind of information that you're going to get in the Tech Hub for Tutors. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope this is helpful. Make sure that you follow the link in the description to get more information about the Tech Hub for Tutors. And if you'd like to be on the newsletter, please get signed up. But remember, it's for tutors. If you're running a big business and you're a tech guru, you might want my newsletter, but you're not going to gain a lot of insights from me because I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Okay. So I want tutors, I want educators, and I want people that want to learn how to tutor and make it more than just a part-time gig.